Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the 107 podcast with myself, Ash, and my co-host, Jacob. Jacob, everybody's a Nico fan. Even if they say they're not, they are a Nico fan. You can go to the Red Bull garage and they'll tell you Max Verstappen is the greatest driver of all time, but they are a Nico fan.
Undoubtedly. Especially after this weekend.
Everybody's a Nico fan. Long overdue. Long overdue.
I feel like it's at least 200 races overdue. I mean, if ever, and this is going to be really cheesy for 30 seconds. Hello, welcome to the 107 podcast. If you haven't already, follow us on your preferred podcast platform. We'll get that out of the way. Now the cheese. If at first you don't succeed, try again 238 extra times and also get retired, not through your own choice, and just keep on fucking going. Absolutely unbelievable what happened. Congrats, Nico. I know you're a big listener of the show, so we'll shout you out directly.
He's going to listen to every podcast about this race.
I bet you him and his his wife as well will be watching everything and stuff like that. Like, I really hope that over the next couple of days, because they've got a week off too, he can really let it soak in.
Well, I've just brought up his post on Instagram and he's captioned it. Never stop believing.
Yeah,
and it's true. Never stop believing.
Yeah, I saw, because I'm a professional. I saw his post on LinkedIn a couple of hours ago as well. So yeah, which was quite nice. Of course, I congratulated him. We're second connections, by the way, so not first, second. So I'm almost in there with Nico. But there were. I'm gonna say it. There were a couple of negatives to the podium, but I'm not going to mention those until we get on to posts talking about the race in a couple of minutes anyway. Because obviously we're going to talk about the entire weekend. Again, this is nothing bad about Nico. I'm just going to prerequisite that. Whole weekend, we had some very interesting changing conditions. Quali threw up one or two tiny surprises and one big one at the end. So should we start there?
Yeah, let's start with quali.
Okay, is there anything to mention other than the lap from Max?
Is there anything to mention other than the lap? I think it was interesting to see how close the majority of the field were.
In Q1, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Pierre Gasly did an amazing job, as did Fernando. And as did Ollie fucking Behrman. It's a real shame that he had the
grid penalty.
Lad. He did really, really well.
My favourite thing about that Ollie incident, by the way, was Max just laughing at him. That was the best bit.
I was surprised that the Mercedes didn't do as well as I thought they would, considering it was the colder conditions.
Yeah, I agree.
And usually they do a bit better, but George put out a great lap. Ferraris looked good.
They looked decent, yeah.
Yeah, I think both Charles and Lewis messed up their laps, so we couldn't really see the full potential. But yeah. I mean, what do you Gen Zers say? He's him or something like that. When just someone just does something absolutely. Yeah, Max Verstappen is him.
He is him. For the record, I'm not Gen Z. I'm a millennial.
No, I count you as Gen Z.
No, 97. That's millennial. I'm not Gen Z.
Maybe.
No. But Max is the man. He is just.
He is a.
I don't know
with,
how he
low downforce setup.
You saw Lando put it on pole. Oh, everyone goes mental, and then Oscar beats it, and then just in the corner of your screen, Max Verstappen, purple sector 1. I literally, as soon as I saw that, I was like, it's done. As soon as I saw purple sector 1, I was like, that's it. Max has got it. It was inevitable. He is inevitable. Yeah. Absolutely crazy. But I definitely think that the lap was amazing, but he was running a low downforce setup, which definitely hurt Red Bull in the race. Definitely. There's no denying it at all. So, although he did get pole, he didn't translate it into a very good result. So I would argue that it was an empty pole, if that makes sense. It wasn't,
I mean, he still ended up 5th, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think he eventually ended up 5th.
So, I know a higher downforce setup would have helped him, but I think the rain helped him. Because if it was a dry race, and he was on the low downforce setup, I think he might have struggled
We will never
a little
know.
bit more, but we will never know.
We will never know. But the higher downforce setup would have helped him in the race with the rain, probably. I mean, that is how Lando got past him in the first place. Or was it Oscar got past him in the first place when he went off at
or when he went off, that was when Lando got past him.
Yeah, because it wasn't during the restart. That was a different time. That was when that was the second time. So, but yeah, that was and honestly, the Bearman thing gutted for him because he was so looking forward to this entire weekend. But it's one of those things. It was a rookie mistake. You learn. He will never do that again. You know. So yeah.
But fair play to Max Verstappen. I think pretty much everyone is on the consensus now that he is the best driver on the grid.
Yeah. I don't even, especially with Yuki not performing particularly well as well in exactly the same car. It just goes to show again. We all like Yuki. We all think he's a brilliant driver, and he just can't even hold a torch to Max. So, yeah. But moving on to Sunday. First of all, the weather was a paid actor, as far as I'm concerned. It spiced things up for sure. I was calling it almost the entire way. I was like, it's just, it's going to rain. It's going to mix things up a little bit. Which scared me initially, because last year when it rained, McLaren fucks it up massively. So I was glad to see this year that they didn't fuck it up massively. They seem to learn from their mistakes, and for that, I'm a bit proud of them. You know, just gonna say it, just gonna put it out there. A bit proud of you.
I'm sure that the people at Woking have taken your words to heart.
I would assume so. Zach in particular. Andreas shares the podcast link to Zach to review over the week, so you know.
I mean, it's called McLaren. We could call it McQuillan.
Fingers crossed. But the weather threw up a couple of problems for so many teams and so many drivers throughout the entire race. But during the beginning, a couple of drivers pitted, didn't they? So you had Charles Leclerc pit and George Russell, which for you, right or wrong decision? Because for me,
wrong decision.
Wrong decision. Yeah. Not great.
It was way too wet in that final sector, I believe. Like you could see the spray coming off.
Yeah, exactly.
And it just wasn't worth the risk.
No, it wasn't. But so, also, fun fact, I don't know if they did this on the Sky Sports commentary, but apparently, if anyone ever tells you that F1 isn't popular or F1 isn't, as big as it could be or whatever, more people attended the British Grand Prix than they attended the arguably biggest festival in the world, Glastonbury. More people attended the British Grand Prix this year than they did Glastonbury. Yep. So if anyone ever is just like, F1's not, you like F1, actually more popular than Glastonbury, so get in the bin. I
mean, there was a ton of celebrities.
True. Which we all love, obviously. But yeah, we
love them
attendance.
when they're like genuine fans.
Yeah, like Tom Holland. Genuine fan.
Hannah Waddingham.
Yeah. Clarkson.
Idris Elba, Ian Wright, Clarkson.
Yeah.
A certain politician was there. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Rishi Sunak was there.
Oh, no.
I didn't even notice him until I read afterwards.
Are you sure it wasn't Vicstar? No, so I had no idea. But yeah, 500,000 people attended.
Yep.
It's crazy. And the thing is as well is that I'm looking at like an aerial shot of the track now, and you can fit more grandstands in. Like if you really wanted to, I reckon you could get the number up even higher. Like it's outrageous. Yeah, crazy, especially at those prices.
Oh no, wait. Are you telling me 500,000 people were there on Sunday, or are you telling me 500,000 people
overall weekend attendance?
Okay.
So I don't know exactly how to calculate it.
100,000, then 200,000, and
then
another
200,000 or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, it's still a hell of a lot of people.
It's still crazy for sure. But like I said, more people attended than Glastonbury. So Hey, who am I to argue? But so it was a mistake, obviously, to come in and pit for, was it Charles and George? Did Lewis come in? No. But so what do we think of the start?
I just thought it was just a normal start.
Yeah, not really anything else to note, really.
No.
There was
a
little bit of a challenge from Hamilton on Norris, and I actually wanted to talk about Hamilton throughout the race because he had such a funny race story. Essentially, I feel like at the beginning he was catching Lando, he was trying to fight for maybe third place, showed that there was some pace in the Ferrari, and then all of a sudden he was nowhere, and then he started to gain a bit of confidence again, and then he was nowhere, and then he started to gain confidence again towards the end of the race, and then sort of started falling behind and couldn't catch Nico. So he had a very topsy-turvy, all over the place race for me.
I think when it was wet, he had the advantage of being able to switch on the tires quicker and just generally being good in the wet.
Yeah.
When it started to get dry, that's when they lost the pace in the cars and things. And did he go into softs? Right, he did go into softs right at the end, whereas medium would have been.
Yeah, I think he did go on softs. Yeah, and Nico had mediums on. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think there were flashes of brilliance there. I think overall the car seems to be in a position where he can get more out of it.
Yeah.
But it's obviously not the best race to really see if they're actually there or thereabouts and being consistently up there.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
I also think it was a one time where, as much as everyone loved Lewis, it was one time where like, don't
don't.
Nico.
Yeah, just leave it, lad. Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see now what that car does, because in the dry conditions in free practice, they were relatively quick. Spa's a similar track in terms of Silverstone of higher speed and fast and medium and high speed corners, where Lewis says the car does well. He does well at Spa. Charles does well at
Spa. So does Max.
So does Max does well everywhere.
Well, yeah.
Does Max even have a weak track? I don't really think so.
Let's pause this then. What is Max's weakest track?
Oh.
What is his weakest track? What's his bogey track?
Singapore?
I mean, I guess.
I mean, Singapore only last year already because of the car.
Yeah. So, I can't think of a bad track for Max.
I can't think of a bad track. I mean, he aces it at Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil is. I mean, they gave Lewis a Brazilian passport. You might as well give one to Max at this point as well. I don't know. I can't think of a single track where I'm like, oh yeah, Max struggles at this place. You know.
Same. I agree.
Because some drivers just do much better or do much worse at particular tracks, and that's okay. Yeah. That's fine. It suits different driving styles, and that's what we love about the sport. For example, Lando always does well in Austria. He just does. Don't know why. It's a very Lando track. And
Lewis does well at Silverstone.
Lewis always does well at Silverstone. Max always does well in Spa. So this is what I mean. So I don't know. I can't think of a bad track for Max. Can't think of one. I know he doesn't like the street tracks and stuff. Well, he didn't have a great time at Baku. I feel like his results in Baku, off the top of my head, have not been great. I don't know why. Checo beat him there a couple of times when it was RB, when he was at Red Bull. So maybe Baku.
Yeah, but one time he had that puncture, didn't he?
Exactly. So it's not his favourite track. That's
not his favourite track.
I'm pulling at straws here to say Baku is his least favourite. That's my answer. That's genuinely my answer, because I've got no other bloody answer. Anyway, back to the race. Chronologically, this is when sort of like the next sort of main sort of thing was Piastri taking the lead, DRS overtake over Verstappen, to be expected, right?
Yep.
Like it just was to be expected. Good overtake, easy overtake, I would argue as well. And then we did have a little bit of a battle, didn't we, between Lewis and George, which was fun to watch. Mm-hmm. And there were lots of battles all over the track, all over up and down, like the positions and stuff like that as well, which I really, really enjoyed. Was there any in particular that you really enjoyed or no? Or
I like the mix of strategies. Like Ocon stayed out. He gained under safety car. I thought Lance Stroll did really well going onto the softs, gaining a ton of positions.
Yeah.
Before going back onto the inters, he
did very well. Good,
yeah, he made some really good overtakes.
I also feel like before the safety car, Piastri was running away. He was 5.5 seconds ahead of Max.
He would have won that race easy.
Yeah,
things on the way they went. But Gasly did well getting up there.
He did
good start, and kept that position through merit. And it was just a shame. I think who went out first? Was it Lawson? Lawson got hit by someone.
Colapinto didn't even start the race.
Yeah, Colapinto
just completely flew under the radar that he didn't even start the race.
Good, Rev.
Apparently, his issue was that he was just stuck in second gear the entirety of the formation lap, so he retired the car.
Shit, that's a shame. Leon got taken out. Bortoletto had an issue as well.
Yeah, he went off.
Isaac went off as well.
Literally all of the rookies did not do well.
No.
Behrman didn't do well.
Kimi, because he got hit by, was it Tsunoda, right?
Yeah, Kimi, I don't think that was his fault.
No.
Yeah,
and Tsunoda didn't have a great race either.
No. Yeah, not good. Not that Yuki's a rookie, but I'm just, like I said, flicking through and looking at all of the highlights.
Should we just jump to like the turning point of the race?
That's what I was going to say. I feel like, the penalty of Oscar, for me, personally, I didn't initially think it was a penalty. I initially just thought it was absolutely fine. He's braking, he's trying to get brake temps, blah, 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 blah. Then I had a look at the camera angles and stuff like that and how much speed Piastri scrubbed off. It was excessive. It just was. Right?
I agree. When I saw it, I was like, that's a bit unfair. Most drivers back up the pack. And I even thought, okay, Max went past him, but
yeah, it's a nothing event type thing. Yeah,
it's nothing event. And then I saw the data, the trace data, and I was like, okay, that's 100 mile per hour drop.
Yeah, it was 160 kilometers he scrubbed off in conditions where you can barely see a few meters in front of you.
Yeah,
it's not.
And I think that's why I think he would have got 5 seconds, but because it was wet and there's poor visibility, I think that's why they gave him 10.
Yeah. I get why he tried to do it, but not a good idea.
Technically, it worked. Technically, it worked because Max did have a little bit of
Well, technically, it did work, yeah. And that's actually something that I'm watching the incident now as well, because even Lando was like, what's going on? Like, even Lando, like, struggled to slow down.
Nico was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I think
Did Verstappen's spin impact the steward's decision to give a 10-second rather than a 5-second time penalty?
No, I don't think so. What I find interesting is when you look at the data, he did it before. He did it the lap before. And I think that's what's caused him to be really angry. It's like, hold on, I did this before. You didn't say anything. I've done it again, albeit slightly worse. But, there are two, like this time Verstappen had to take avoiding action.
Yeah.
He was controlling the pack. So penalty was fair. And this is how like Oscar, whether it be this season or future seasons, this is how he'll be a world champion. Because when he goes on the radio, it's like, well, if you think it's not fair, you should let us swap positions and let us fight it out, which is obviously the wrong thing to do. They shouldn't do that. And they did do that, which is good.
Yeah.
But
I think
for a world champion, I take every single, I'll try it. So
I think for me, the reaction on the radio of him being like, let's just swap positions if you don't think it was fair, I think for a start, McLaren wouldn't have even entertained it. I don't think they would.
Because Lando did nothing wrong.
No. If it was like, something different or whatever, then maybe they would have swapped positions. But even then, I doubt it, right? But Piastri then, seemingly, after a couple of hours, or like after a little while after the race, I feel like maybe not accepted it, but was like, maybe somebody whispered into his ear, like, you do realize you did this, right? I don't know, but I feel as though in the driver interview afterwards, his demeanor had changed a little bit. He wasn't as angry anymore. So maybe it was a bit of adrenaline, maybe it was whatever, but like he seemed to have changed his tune just a little bit, which is good, I think, because it wasn't great, his attitude initially. But still, it was arguably the incident that, sealed the fate of the rest of the race.
Yep, that's it. Lando took the lead. He had free air. He built a gap.
Yeah. And for me, it kind of took away the shine off of the win.
I think it did as well.
For me. And I also feel as though, and this is what I was talking about earlier, I'm disappointed in the Hulkenberg podium because I feel it took the shine off of that a tiny bit as well.
You think so?
Yeah, so bear with me.
Okay.
Both the McLaren drivers should have been a bit more supportive of Nico on the podium. They should have been, as far as I'm concerned. I understand that, you've just won Silverstone, it's emotional, etc., etc. I understand for Oscar, you've had the win taken away from you, or, you should have won. Realistically, Oscar should have won this Grand Prix. But to me, it looked like Nico was pretty much ignored on the podium. It just didn't seem right. Whereas, if Max was up there or if Lewis was up there with Nico or something like that, the celebration would have been completely different. For me, that's where I'm like, didn't really sit right with me.
Okay, that's interesting. I think it took the shine off Lando's win because Oscar...
Because of the circumstances, yeah. That's
circumstances. Sure. For Nico's podium, I can see both ways, which is... Yeah, I mean, they're not obliged to.
No, of course not. No.
Maybe they could have done a little bit more. But also, like, if you've just won your home race, I think Lando's got tunnel vision.
That's the thing. Right? And that's where I'm, like, taking it with a pinch of salt. Lando's just won his home Grand Prix.
Not happy.
Oscar's pissed because he should have won the Grand Prix. So I get it. But it's just a bit disappointing. But what wasn't disappointing was, I don't know if you heard, but... So Sauber had no champagne on hand at all. So Mercedes and Aston Martin shipped them champagne immediately to celebrate.
I didn't know about Aston Martin.
Both of them did. Mercedes did 100%, but also Aston Martin did too, which I really, really appreciated. I think that's really nice. So shout out to whoever within both of those teams did that. So yeah, because that's a really classy move.
Yeah. Do you know what actually has annoyed me?
Go on.
I don't like the fact that the trophy he's got is made out of Lego. It doesn't seem like a real trophy.
I feel as though I should tread lightly. Personally, my own position, privately, as an individual, is that they should have been given a proper trophy and a Lego replica of the trophy.
Yeah, I agree. Like they did.
That's all I'll have to say. Like they did with Lando. That's all I'll have to say.
I can say stuff.
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, I think it's bullshit, right? I know they got the partnership, and I know
interesting.
It's nice when like the DRS board or the braking boards are Lego. But when you've won a trophy, not even like this is your first trophy ever, podium.
For Nico, it was his first trophy ever,
right?
In Formula One, anyway.
Yeah, like I want something a bit substantial, right? I want something that, like, do you know what I mean?
We have heard, again, I'm saying nothing for obvious reasons.
You can say comment. It's fine.
But
I understand.
I think that, like, for me, some of these trophies are worth a stupid amount of money. Like, an absolutely stupid amount of money. Nico's trophy, maximum, in terms of the value of the material, couple of £100. If that,
because like you said, what they did for Lando's got the gold trophy, which I'm sure they'll make a replica of for for him or for McLaren, and he had the Lego trophy.
Yeah,
well.
perfect.
Do that for both.
I've got no arguments with that.
Do that for P3. I'm just like,
yes. The cool thing is though, is that I know the person who designed the trophies, which is kind of cool.
No one's saying they're bad trophies.
They are not bad trophies. I am not. I'm 100% categorically not saying they're bad trophies.
Even like, okay, that's a cool idea, but it would have been nice to have a proper trophy.
I did see Nico actually say, like, I love Lego. Like, my daughter will love this trophy and stuff like that. Like, I'm paraphrasing, but like, you know, like Nico didn't seem to mind so much, which is good, I would argue. Classic dad move though, you know. So, but I mean, who knows? Maybe this is the first of many podiums for Nico.
Maybe it's the first.
Maybe he'll make a run of it. I mean, did you see who his guest was in the garage as well?
Yeah, your boy,
my boy,
K-Bag.
So maybe it's his lucky charm. But yeah, no, it's amazing for Nico, and I know that he has another year on his contract for next year as well. So genuinely, fingers crossed it doesn't take another 238 until the next one. Fingers crossed, Audi come in, and you know what? They get a cheeky couple of podiums in their first year. You know?
Well,
because it's possible.
What Binotto and Jonathan Wheatley are doing with that team.
Yeah.
You know, it's not possible. Like a one-off.
No.
In terms, like, he did really well in Austria.
Yep.
Bortoletto is a quick driver. So they're building something really good and really special there.
They've got the foundations, genuinely, the foundations for next year to be a upper midfield team and push for a podium or two. Why not? Yeah, why not? Like, genuinely, why not?
I agree.
And I think especially with half of the grid having Mercedes power units and then the rest all being individual as well, I think it's going to be really interesting next year. But that's next year. That's not British Grand Prix. Should we go back to talking about British Grand Prix a little bit, just a smidge? Because
okay then.
Hulkenberg obviously absolutely smashed it, and should be given all of the praise possible. But can I also shout out Lance Stroll? For a second as well.
Don't laugh when you say his name. Back on his name.
I'm not laughing when I say his name. I'm laughing because of his performance. It was fantastic. And then to come on the radio at the end of the race and say, mate, this is the worst car I've ever driven as well is ballsy.
It's a shitbox.
He did very well, genuinely, considering the car and the stuff he was given. He, for some reason, Stroll, whenever it pisses it down, Stroll is somewhere. You know, he's there or thereabouts. So
he is the rainmaster.
Clearly,
Schumacher.
Clearly, Stroll is very good in the rain. So I actually really appreciate it. Like, his performance over the weekend was very good considering the car he was in. Like, genuinely, this is no joke. He did very well.
He didn't have the updated floor.
No,
Fernando did.
Fernando did and finished below it.
Yeah. Did you hear Fernando's radio? It was hilarious.
Which one? Because I saw one or two radios.
I think the one where he's like, you know, he goes, he says like, who's on old tires or what the tires of people in front of me? And they tell him everything. He goes, so we just lose positions for fun, do we?
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, I love that man. I absolutely love that man. Yeah, so Lance ended up finishing 7th and Fernando Alonso ended up finishing 9th. So I would argue a combination of 8 points between the two of them is not bad.
Well, I'll tell you what. Kick Sauber are ahead of Racing Bulls and Aston Martin.
Can I point out that in the last 3 races, Kick Sauber have outscored Red Bull?
Four races.
4 races. Like, what is going on? Like, Nico is on a generational run right now. But I'm actually going to say it. It doesn't surprise me.
What doesn't surprise you?
Sauber's performance, especially in relation to Red Bull, does not surprise me at all.
No, the way that second driver, second Red Bull seat is going.
I'm actually going to shout out some of the backroom staff of Sauber, like Jonathan Wheatley and Binotto and stuff like that. They're very clearly doing something. It's clearly working.
Mm.
Like genuinely, and this is why I was hyping Audi up a little bit earlier. I think they might be cooking. I think they're cooking up something, which is going to be interesting for sure. And I'm looking at the other results, and I feel as though, although everyone's a Ferrari fan, nobody would have been a Ferrari fan if Lewis had pipped Nico to the podium.
No, they wouldn't have.
Like, it would have been good for Lewis to, have another podium at Silverstone, but not at the cost of Nico. If it had been at the cost of Max, especially, or Pierre, or Lance, or even Albon, it would have been fine, but not Nico. Not him.
I was secretly hoping, because Lance was running third at one point. I was like, oh, man.
That would be a good podium for Lance. Like,
that would have been a good podium.
But Nico's is better, so it's fine. And so I'm flicking through the other incidents from the race, but there's no huge moments for me that I'm picking up on, to be honest. It was just generally, I'm just gonna generically say but like I said at the beginning, the battles all up and down the field were great. It was a really enjoyable race.
It was good. The rain, the strategy choices just mixed it all up, and yeah, it was I did find it annoying that it was no one's fault, but it's just like it took like 16 laps the race ready start, because they did the formation lap behind the safety car, and then it was virtual safety car, there was safety car, it was virtual safety car, and I was like, is this race going to get going at any point?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And I was like, is it worth red flagging it if there's stopping so many times and cars are going off? But
I know what you mean.
Patience paid off, and we had like an epic second half of the race.
It absolutely did. Yeah. Fantastic race. I'm not gonna say race of the season, but it's up there.
Race,
because we're halfway through the season now. I'm gonna add as well. So far, race of the season. Do you have one off the top of your head? Because I'm thinking. I don't really know what my race of the season is. Come to think of it,
I agree. Actually, looking back at the previous races, maybe Australia could maybe give it a little bit of a push.
Australia was great. Again, lots of rain.
Lots of rain. But yeah, I just think in terms of the podium we got, the incidents, the overall racing, I would say Great Britain is race of the season so far.
It's between that and Australia. And we were there in person, but I went back on TV and I watched Bahrain, and it was all right. It wasn't amazing, but I'm looking at that with papaya-tinted glasses a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Nah, Bahrain was just Oscar controlling the race. So. Yeah, I'd agree. Race of the season.
Yeah, it's if not joint with Australia.
Yeah, but like you said, we've still got
some fantastic tracks. We've even got Max's bogey track. We're in Azerbaijan in September.
Oh, we got Belgium next. Belgium always throws up a good race.
Yeah.
It's fast, you can overtake, and the weather can be a little bit crazy there.
Yeah, because we've only got 2 more races now until the mid-season break.
We do indeed.
So we've got a double header. We've got a week off, double header, Belgium, Hungary, and then that's it for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Summer shutdown. And so looking at the standings as well, I'll be honest with you. Lando winning and Oscar coming second has kept the championship alive just that little bit more. So that's made me a bit happy. And as much as I obviously am a very big McLaren fan, and I want Oscar to be world champion, and I want Lando to be world champion, I will go mental if it's Lando. I will be very happy if it's Oscar, but I will go mental if it's Lando. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm going to pose this question to you, and this is a genuine thing. For Oscar, he will win multiple world championships, right? He just will. For Lando, this could be his only chance.
Oh.
That's why. For me, that's why I'm like, if you're going to do it, you kind of have to do it now. Because I see...
That's a fair point.
I see Oscar as just getting better and better and better. And not to say that Lando can't get better, but I just think Oscar is going to out monster him. Like, you know, so if Lando's going to do it, it has to be now. That's just my opinion. I'm looking at it all. I think if you ask me who's going to win more world championships, Oscar or Lando, it's going to be Oscar. And with Oscar's skill growing and growing and growing and him maturing more and more and more as a driver, I did not expect the podcast to take this turn, by the way. But I think if Lando doesn't win it now, I don't know if he's going to win a championship ever.
I don't really have any feelings either way.
I don't think it's dead.
Lando wins,
but
I'll be happy if Oscar wins. But I will agree with you, and I think if you look over their career and if they make the right team changes if they have to, and the McLaren car, if it continues to dominate the next seasons, I would put money on Oscar winning more championships. I look at this right now as Nico versus Lewis, the Mercedes.
Yeah.
And I think it's Lewis is Oscar and Nico is Lando. Yeah. Where he'll be there, he'll be close. And it's going to take the season of a lifetime for Lando to beat Oscar.
I think it was super important for Lando to win back-to-back races as well. For me, I think that's very important. And again, I don't think that Lando's a bad driver. I think he's brilliant. But the problem is that his teammate, who's in the exact same car, is a fucking monster.
Yeah, it's the same with Nico and Lewis. No one ever thought Nico was slow or a bad driver.
No, exactly.
Won a few times, won some races, and won back. Like
Nico was fantastic. There's no doubt in that at all.
But his teammate was Lewis Hamilton. So All I'm glad is we've got a fight.
Yes,
that's it.
We do have a fight. There is 7 points in it? 6,
7
8
points right now.
8.
Oh, sorry, 8. You're right.
8 points
in it right
Sorry, I was doing quick maths. So I'm looking at it on the screen. Yeah.
So am I. Yeah.
But so to lighten the mood a little bit, because that was a bit of a serious topic. Do you want to hear some Ferrari copium that I heard?
Oh my god.
So
what more can there be?
I was scrolling through threads, right, and I found this post, right.
I can't see it.
I'm going to read it to you. So it says, and this is the Ferrari copium, which was posted before Silverstone, and I loved it. This is just perfect, right? 13 races left. McLaren leads Ferrari by 207 points. But if Ferrari goes 1-2 in every race, and McLaren finishes 3-4 in every next race, Ferrari win the Constructors' Championship by just 1 point.
Wow.
There are elite levels of copium. That's one of my favorites.
I mean, it's like that saying, it's like, if it's mathematically possible.
It's mathematically possible. I mean, McLaren's engines could blow up for the remaining races, and Ferrari could win all of them. But
I mean, there's clutching at straws, and there's clutching at air.
Yes, I thought you'd enjoy that. As a bit of a Ferrari fan yourself, I thought you'd enjoy that. That is a bit of copium. That's it tickled me, let's say. But yeah, looking at the championship, I just want to draw your attention to the constructors, because there are a couple of interesting things. One, McLaren have got more than double Ferrari's points, which is just insane. It makes that copium look even worse now. But even though Ferrari didn't have the best points haul or the worst, second through third is actually reasonably close. You've got Ferrari at 222, Mercedes at 210, and then Red Bull at 172. If Red Bull had
you got Max Verstappen?
Yeah, Max Verstappen's. If Red Bull had a competitive second car, it would be even closer. But I just thought it was super interesting to see the points be that close. But then if you look further down, Racing Bulls have 36 in 7th. Aston Martin have 36 in 8th. And then
Haas have 41.
I know.
Williams have 59.
Like it's absolutely crazy how essentially from fifth down looks. Williams have got a little bit of a cushion in fifth, but they're never going to catch Red Bull. Obviously, that's just obviously not going to happen. So the best Williams can do is finish fifth, right? But below that, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you what. If you,
I mean, the way that Sauber are going, I would not be surprised if they overtook Williams. At all.
Williams have had some reliability issues, which have brought them down a peg. But if they get past those, I think they'll be all right. Which seemingly they did. They didn't have a DNF today, Sunday, race day.
True, but you know what? We'll see with Williams. Like I said, James Vowles, like, don't care about his head, don't care about his head, don't care about his head.
Doesn't go.
But, I mean, I think the good thing is, compared to like not previous years, because last year was a bit competitive, is we do have competition for the top spots. But the constructors, we do have competition up there, which it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's actually interesting. Like the lower down.
What we just want a fight.
We want storylines. We want to see teams go head to head. We want to see, Nico on the podium. We want to see Bortoletto finish P5, and we want to see him finish up in the points. We want to see Williams pushing for a podium and all of this fun stuff. We want outrageous results because that's what Formula One's all about. And anything can happen. It's
It is Formula One.
It is Formula One. And I like the fact that, it's not, maybe because we were used to Max, but it's not, so far through the season and it's obvious who's going to win.
Well, it's not even that, because we don't even know who's going to put it on pole sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah.
You think, it could be Lando, it could be Oscar, and then pow, Max Verstappen comes in.
Comes out of nowhere. Yeah. Crazy.
Out of nowhere. So
with the low downforce setup.
Exactly. Well, like you said, Spa is one of his stronger tracks. You could continue with that low downforce setup or lower.
Yeah.
And then, he could put it on pole and maybe even win the race.
He could.
You never know.
I mean, like we said, Spa is a very max track. I could definitely see him winning the Spa race, especially because McLaren do not have straight line speed.
So
I can genuinely see Ferrari outscoring McLaren in the constructors at Spa.
Really? I wouldn't go that far. But
that's genuinely, that's where my head's at right now, because McLaren don't have straight line speed.
Max can definitely do something at Spa.
Max definitely can. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Again, we'll be back for Spa then. We've been recording now for 45 minutes or so. Anything else you want to cover, or do you want to wrap things up? Can we get a quick review of the film from you? We won't talk about it in depth, but did you enjoy it? What did you... I know we spoke about it directly, personally, but what you just think?
I really enjoyed it. I thought the action scenes were great. Story was a bit, it tied things.
American, cheesy.
If you switch your brain off, it's a good, fun film, and I hope they make a sequel.
Allegedly, they are. Which, would they call it F2? I don't know.
No, we had this discussion. They'll call it 2 Formula.
Oh yes, yeah.
2
Formula 2-1.
Yeah, and then you'll have Formula 1, Suzuka Drift, and then you'll have the fate of the Formula.
Nice.
You'll have Formula X.
Yeah.
That's when they take a Formula 1 car to space.
Yes, exactly. Well, that would make sense. One almost flew there.
Vin Diesel was at Silverstone, so you never know.
Was it? Oh,
you could have been proposing ideas for a sequel.
There's a heist of a F1 track. They have to steal an F1 car during a race.
Actually, I'll tell you what we can wrap it up on. Since Keanu Reeves was there as they're filming a Cadillac documentary. Let's wrap it up on who do you think will be at Cadillac next year?
So.
I remember.
Can we mix it up? Can we say who we want and who we think will get the seats? Because I have 2 different answers for those. Because I want 2 different drivers, and I think it will be 2 different drivers.
Okay, I'm just going to tell you who I think they. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna be realistic. You can live off hope if you think Frederick Vesti.
I'm gonna live off. I'm still high on that Ferrari hopium. So.
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay. I think Valtteri Bottas.
Yep.
And I think Mick Schumacher.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm actually gonna go. I think it will be Checo and Bottas.
Oh.
I think it will be Checo and Bottas. I want Bottas and Vesti. Because you've got a mix of young experience. I personally think that would be a very good thing. Vesti's a quick boy. He's fucking quick. So the only problem is that Kimi Antonelli exists. You know? And he was caught talking to the Cadillac team principal CEO at Silverstone as well. We posted it on a story. If you haven't already, come and follow us on Instagram. Oh, take a breath. But he was caught talking to him. Maybe even as a reserve driver could be fun as well. But I had also heard as well that Cadillac have been simulating races and stuff like that already with the team members that they have and stuff like that. So
I heard that.
They're really trying to get up to speed really, really quickly, which I actually really appreciate. So I genuinely think they're going to hit the ground running as well. They'll run into some teething problems, exactly like Haas did, but I think first couple of races they won't be back of the grid. Let's say, because you don't know what you don't know, and then eventually things will kick in and they'll fall down a little bit.
Yeah,
which is natural.
It's way too early to tell, but it'll be interesting to see them on the grid next year. It'll be very interesting. So I look forward to the documentary as well.
Yeah, documentary should be good. The Brawn one, which Keanu Reeves did before, was fantastic. And I believe it's going to be the same, if not similar, production team. So if you enjoyed that, you'll probably enjoy this. And if you haven't seen the Brawn one, go and watch the Brawn one because it's fantastic.
Cool. So should we wrap it up?
Yeah, let's leave it there. If you haven't already, please go ahead and rate the podcast, follow us on your preferred podcast platform, all of that fun stuff. Come and say hello to us on Instagram. If there's anything we forgot to talk about during the race, like I just forgot how to use English, come and ask us on Instagram. Come and have a chat with us. We're always happy to, throw some stuff around and chat about how it's a conspiracy theory that, Oscar Piastri, if he'd have had an English passport, there would have been no penalty, and all of this fun stuff. Why was there a safety car? They can just drive through the rain. Who cares? Whatever. Come and have a chat with us, and we will be back for Belgium, and we should, theoretically, we need to organise it, release our F1 film review at some point soon as well.
Yeah, sounds good.
Whenever we can squeeze in a recording. But thank you very much for listening. If you made it through this 47-ish minutes or so, and we will see you in the next one. Cheers, everyone.
See ya.